See that guy down there, riding his bike in the sunshine? Yeah, that's me. In 1988, maybe 1990, it's hard to remember, it's such a long time ago now, I flew out to Kefalonia on my honeymoon. And the minute I got off the plane, I noticed something weird had happened to me. The hairs on my arm stood up, and the back of my neck, I felt really odd, like I'd come home. Now I know a lot of you say that, but this really is my spiritual home. I've spent all the years since trying to make the dream come true. And when Brexit happened, I applied for my biometric. And now, I live here. Now over the years, as you can see, if you've been coming a long time, Lourdes has changed immensely. There was one taverna on that beach when I first came, and none of these houses were here, maybe one or two. So you could say that me and the island have changed a lot over the years. I mean, I'm divorced now. Some things are for good, some things are for the worse. I mean, the divorce was terrible, but I've got 2 good children out of it. And I suppose the island now generates a good income for the people who live here. So it's not all bad. If you could, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like, share and subscribe, sat back and enjoyed the ride. Who am I? Well, my name's Rudgy, otherwise known to the bike world as the Doctor. So, let's get into it and see what's going on in my life today, shall we? It's Friday, here we go. Right, well, I didn't film it all, but gardening day today while the sun's out. I would have liked to have gone out filming, but if I don't do this now, I'm not going to get to do it. That was the growth over the last week or so, and I'm trying to get this hedge flat. As you can see, we've got it pretty much, apart from there's a bald patch here, pretty much level now. When I moved in, as you know, if you follow me, this was all growing up the sides here. There's evidence of it being on the wall and all around. So I'm quite chuffed with the way it's come out. And don't worry about me cutting it while it's in flower. The bougainvillea doesn't seem to care what you do to it. It's pretty hardy stuff. So I'm going to crack on with that. And then I've got some strimming to do because the garden's got overgrown out the back. Another few weeks, as you can see, this is turning red. This will look like some nuclear war zone, which is why I've been trying to get the bougainvillea to take over. If you can hear me over the dog. Anyway, yeah, this will die off. There'll be nothing along here. The bougainvillea seems to do something most of the year round, even if it's just leaves. But yeah, in the winter this place looks pretty desolate. But if I don't keep on top of it, it gets out of hand. It's difficult to trim it when it's died off. It just ends up with twigs. You can't really see what's growing, so I like to do it about now. Probably do it 3 or 4 times a year. Just part of the maintenance. Hobbit's chair is going to go down into the cellar downstairs, well, the workshop area. Can't really call it a cellar, can you? I have got a hedge trimmer that the bucket kindly donated when I first moved here, but it's easier to do it by hand, really. The hedge trimmer can be a bit brutal, although I do use it on the bigger hedge, as you'll see in a minute. Anyway, I'll do that and I'll get back to you. Well, that's a bit better, a bit leveler. Goes up a bit there, so I may well get the electric trimmer on that later in the year when the leaves have all gone. See what I'm doing then. But for now, that's pretty good. So now I've got to go down the stairs. I don't know whether you can see. I did have that nice and flat, but of course the wind blows it, so I have to keep doing it. So I'm going to now trim all that, and that can all go on the compost then. This I have to keep on top of, otherwise it goes up into the roof. As you can see, there's some there which I cut back last year. If you're not careful, it does, nature does reclaim. As I said in an earlier video, I started training the bougainvillea this way. The idea of that is it will self-support itself eventually, because it was starting to fall into the driveway. And let's see if I can get Makis to help me with one of his, he's got an extendable trimmer. Try and cut the top off that, it's gone a bit wild. As you can see, this is difficult because you start going downhill as you need to cut uphill. But I have got a solution to that, which I'll show you in a minute. Surprising how quickly this gets out of hand. I cut this back a lot over the course of the year. It's just to keep it tidy, and also so that Staffis has something to hang on to when he comes round. Don't want him falling down. A difficult thing unless you can stand back. Like I say, Staffis sometimes helps me, stands and with his good eye stands and says, yeah, you need to cut that bit there, it's a bit sticking out. So I'm doing it solo today, little bits at a time. Now I've got to get the ladders and do the top. And that will be the Hobbit, no doubt. Oh yeah, there you go. Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, you're on candid camera.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Why?
I told you it'd be the Hobbit. I'll get back to you later. More on this later on. Right, yeah. In my armament we have the long loppers. I've already cut some of it back, but one of the best things I ever brought this was, as you can see, it makes light work of the stuff that you can't really reach. This is what I mean. You see, I'd never reach that. Not without a big ladder, which I don't possess yet. I've got to get one of those. So it takes a while because you're doing it individually, but you can sometimes get two at a time, like this. So yeah, look how good that's doing that. I'll show you what I brought this for in a minute. It wasn't for here, because this is really only really got this big in the last year or so, I'd say. I'm going to borrow Makis's big ladders later on and probably go around the back. There's an old tree that needs cutting down. Well, I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a minute as well. Isn't that the business? Now, I originally brought it because, see how high that is? Well, that was about that much higher. You couldn't see the mountain from the balcony. We're currently by the front door. So, over a period of a few months, I cut all this hedgerow here back, which is actually a pomegranate tree, part of it. And now you can see the view. Well, you would be able to, but Makis's olive tree has now grown to replace it. That wasn't that high when I moved in. I don't think Makis will have lost that bit of view, but yeah. By now it would have grown up around the electric lead. So what I've done is I've dropped the level there. So the level of that, I'm going to get Makis to give me a hand and cut all that back. Now winter's coming. But yeah, that's what I brought it for. Cool stuff, eh?
Well, it's a lot of work because these steps were about a foot deep in trimmings, but we've got that pretty flat now, and it'll go mental again in the next few weeks when we have some more rain, which is why I've done it now, and I'll have to keep on top of it. I've pulled out all the stuff that was growing in here that shouldn't. I planted that last year. They seem to grow anywhere, just put them in the ground, they grow. So hopefully that'll be a big tree to fill the area where the palm used to be. And I've cleared all this type of hedge from here because I'm trying to encourage the bougainvillea to go across there, and as you can see, across there, and I can trim the bottom of it off there. Cleared all the weeds from there. I'm going to start doing that now. I'm starting to cut that into a ball, but it's going to take another year or two before that's anywhere near. Cut this back here as well because it was interfering with the washing line, and it had got some sort of bug on it. So I've cut all the bits off that have got a bug on it, and it'll grow back flat. Did that a couple of years ago and it worked quite nicely. And now, as I said earlier, I've got to trim all that. Looks like the grass is growing back. I might encourage that. That'd be good. And this is my little pile for when they say we can have a fire. I did this last year. It's in the dry here, even if it rains. So I tend to pile stuff up here. And then when they say we can have a fire, the table and chairs are coming into here. So I put the fire right in the middle there. Apparently that's legal. We did ask. Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea and crack on. Right, well I haven't bored you with the details, but I've been trimming, so I thought I'd show you how that was going. Right, well as you can see, it looks pretty green down there. There is some tufts of grass, because apparently all this was grass once upon a time, but of course it wasn't watered, so it died. Now I'm here and I'm watering some of the plants. Some of the grass has returned, however, it looks better than it is. That's mostly moss, which we've got down in the lower part of the garden here. Against the moss. It's a green. I'm going to be planting stuff along there. I'm going to cut probably 1 metre out from the fence all the way along. Plant some stuff there. Sorry about the wind. Anyway, yeah, I've done the top. I've just got to weed that now, and I've trimmed all that. Now I've got to get on with that. So let's crack on. The trusty Black & Decker that the bucket gave me. It's all right as long as I keep on top of it. It's not man enough for some of the stuff that grows out here, but oh, and the trigger's broke as well. You have to give it a bashing to turn it off. Must investigate that sooner or later. But it's ideal for this sort of stuff because I don't want to kill everything. I want to see if the grass will grow. Right, well that's that, as you can see, nicely cleared. I'll probably have to do this another couple of times up to Christmas, and then maybe another 2 or 3 times after. And then of course we get the blazing sun and it kills everything. And if you keep it short like this, trust me, it just turns to dust down there. I was going to put some artificial grass down there. We have got some grass trying to grow again. We'll see. If that seems like it's going to happen, then I'll encourage that. If not, it's either going to be some decking or some grass put, artificial grass put down there. I'm going to put a barbecue there. Need something to discourage midges and mosquitoes from that area. So plants or anything like that. If any of you have got any ideas, in the comments. But yeah, there's going to be a barbecue here, and I'm going to put some seating in there for my friends. Probably have the party here next year. 25 people last year. See what happens this year. Anyway, I'm going to do this downstairs area, and I've got upstairs to do. Okay, so it's day 2 and we're in the top garden now. Let me show you. Yeah, as you can see, it looks like the grass is growing back, so I'm going to try and encourage that. I'm not going to cut it too short. Problem is, we've got all these pine needles in amongst it. I did start raking them up, but that seems to make matters worse. And we've got to trim that hedge back and that hedge back on this one. This side's not too bad, but I did a lot of work on this during the summer, so it's kept it down. And then just after Christmas it'll be time to get my greenhouse out and start growing my veg. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with that. Cat face has been no help at all, just moaning at me. What's your problem, eh? Right, let's get on. Well, it's a bit better. Right, now we can crack on with raking the worst of it up. And I've got to trim all the hedge next. So, get on with that now. Now I've just got to cut the top straight. So we did the step ladders for that. Well, unsurprisingly, I lost the microphone. I think it's somewhere up there in amongst that lot or down here. I can't see it anywhere. So that's another one gone. Not very good with me recording kit, but that was one of 2. I'd lost the other one at the Hobbit's house doing work there. I had one left. I used to use it when I was solo. Now that's gone. Anyway, trim the hedge. Probably doesn't look like much, but on the camera, but it's there. I've got all that stuff to get rid of now. Have a quick rake up. Let's have a look from around the other side. Cat's driving me mad, meowing all the time. I think she's just got into a habit of doing that. Anyway, look at that. There's a little hump there that I can't quite reach, but I'm going to get the ladders because this tree's dead. So I'm thinking of cutting it about there, let the top go, take all the stumps off, and for now we'll use it as a flagpole. I don't know how long it'll stay there before it rots away. But anyway, yeah, hedge is almost level now. Another day in the life of the Rudge. Now all I've got to do is stop the cat from making a noise, driving everybody mad, and trim all that there. So I better crack on with that now. And that's that. Now the clear up can begin. I have to clear all these pine needles away from there because I'm going to start using that again now the winter's here. As soon as we get the all clear from the fire department. Right, so I'm now going to go and kill the cat because she's driving me mad. And get a cup of tea. Right, well the cat's driven me mad, meowing all day, wanted to go in, come out. And the hedge trimmer was hard work because it doesn't work properly, but I'm going to have to take it apart again. But anyway, this is what we've achieved. Well, that's nice and tidy again now. I've got to, that's all that's fell down in the last few weeks behind the barbecue. So I'm going to clear that up. I'm going to clear the barbecue out. Anybody got any suggestions what to do with pine needles? Because they don't rot down very quickly. Not in this climate anyway. They don't burn before you start saying burn them. They just smoke. And in a country where they're a bit sensitive to fires, that's not a great idea. Anyway, we've trimmed all that hedge back and I can now walk around the back of that tree stump. Makis was going to level that out for me. I'll have to have a word with him about it. I've squared that bush off. But to pierce their resistance, as they say, I'm holding the mic because I've lost the other one. I'm hoping tonight when it goes dark, it's still got enough power in there, it's lit up and I'll be able to find it. Look at that hedge. Look how straight that is. Look how straight that is. Took me a while to get it like that. A few attempts, but we're there now. Like I say, for now is borrow Makis's ladder and cut all the branches off as far up as I can get, probably there. Cut that off, and then when we have any celebrations there, I can put the appropriate flag on it. So I'll put a block on the top there, make a halyard up. So yeah, that's gardening with Rudge. Has to be done, otherwise it gets out of hand really quickly. Nice and straight that is now. All that's nice and straight. My next task is that. I think I'm going to need some help. Makis says he's got something that might do that, so I'm going to have a word with him. Find a bottle of wine or something for helping me. And I'll see if he can get this done, although I'm not too worried about that. Really, it's sort of all part of the foliage. Right, I'm going to get a nice cup of tea and decide what I'm having for my dinner. Feed the cat. Oh, and I've planted, I don't know whether you'll see it, but on camera. But down there, I don't know whether you can see the lines, I've planted some potatoes. So about 9 weeks I think it takes, I don't know. Very nice soil there in now, that's really come up nicely, that has. Got to fix the fence as well, that's the next step. Beautiful evening, as you can see. Look at that. Great day to be alive. I might venture out tomorrow. I mean, I've got the car and I've got the bike, so if it's raining I'll go in the car, and if it's a nice day I'll go on the bike. And yeah, my landlady said she's looking forward to this. There will be a cooking with the Wednesday house and Jimmy Wednesday coming up. I think he's going to be doing a curry for us, and Wednesday's going to be doing the naan breads to go with them. I'm looking forward to that. But we've got a couple of videos to come in first before that happens.
And now it's time for the news from around the world, and in particular, Kefalonia with Robert the Weatherman.
Welcome to the news from around the world, and in particular, Caravados, Kefalonia. There's been an awful lot of rain this week in Kefalonia in particular, and a sinkhole opened up on the roadworks in Argostoli. Police are looking into it. And earlier on this month, a seal was found dead on the beach in Lourdes. The authorities were informed, and apparently a local charity came down to the beach. We have some footage which we're showing now. Nobody really knows why the seal ended up there, though there was some blood around its mouth, and a local bystander said he thought it was probably due to a prop strike from a boat out at sea. And now it's time for the weather from our roving weather reporter, Robert.
Faslane, nuclear submarine base, which was featured in the 1977 film The Spy Who Loved Me with Roger Moore. About 13 degrees, quite warm. Not now, Moneypenny. And put those away, have somebody's eye out. Amazing.
Thank you, Robert, for that weather report from Scottish Scotland, I think it was. Anyway, in other news, a seamstress has opened a new shop in Augustoli, and she's going to call it So It Seems. So that's your news from around the world, and Kefalonia, Caravados in particular. Thanks for watching. Great day to be alive. It's a funny thing, but since I started doing these road trip videos, I've suddenly realised how good the views are. Because I'm usually driving, so I don't usually get to see the views. But of course, when I'm editing, I'm watching it back. So yeah, my passengers are quite lucky, aren't they? This is a view that quite a lot of you will recognise straight away. I know a couple of people in particular, Ian Redmond and Sarah. As you can see, it's the end of the season here. We're in October the 25th, I think it is today. Just to give you an idea, I'm not sure, like I said in various videos, I'm not sure when these go out. I usually keep them in order, but of course I've been quite busy trying to get the last of the sunshine in for you guys. So this might not go out for a few weeks yet. Anyway, here's a view that you'll all recognise, especially the fans of this area. Not expecting many places to be open. I suppose it depends on the footfall. We'll have a little drive round and then I may go and get myself a coffee. If you're going to start a YouTube channel and it involves filming from your car, little tip, make sure your windscreen's clean. Because this one isn't. I need to do something about that. There you go. Katelios, out of season. Not a soul about. That guy there, I've watched him over the years. He works really hard. It's always the same guy. Always works really hard on improving the place he's got. It's good to watch. People don't care these days, do they, normally? Rest on the laurels. Right, I've driven round to the beach further along from Katelios. So I thought I'd show you that. I did film this earlier in the year, actually. Now this, a little story here. This is where me and Ian Redman, patron to the channel, and head of all things drone, did our first drone shot experiments. Didn't go so well, but we had a good time. We always end up going for a beer. And several hours later, he's in trouble and has to buy some shoes for Sarah. Anyway, yeah, this is where we did those shots. I'll stick some up. Another day, another beach. I bet you're getting bored with the beaches now, aren't you? Hey, I don't know. Well, maybe not. It's getting on. It's late in the afternoon. Been out for a bit of a drive. Thought I'd come to Katelios, out of season. As you can see, not a soul about. Still a lovely beach, and fantastic when the sun shines. Well, that's another video done for another week. It's getting hard as we run towards Christmas. It's getting harder and harder to keep up with the footage. I'm a bit behind. I'm hoping to carry on getting them out like I did last year, all through the Christmas period into the new year. But if not, I might miss one Friday and have a Friday off. I'm going to try not to do that though, because I know you lot look forward to them. Lisa, yes, of course. I have access to all the beaches. This is Rudgy AK, the Doctor, the most famous channel on the island. Of course, they close all the beaches and towns down when my camera crew turn up. I wish. No, it's just that we're out of season now, so yeah, it is very, very quiet. Somebody put a comment. They tried to hype my video, but I didn't have it in settings. If you'd like to message me and explain that, if it's something I can do that I think is important, I'll try and do that. And somebody else messaged me. I should have written his name down or their name down. The guy who had the collision with the horses and was airlifted out to Athens Hospital is the son of the owner of Dreamcatchers in Katelios. Nobody seems to know much about what's happened since. So if you do know, put it in the comments if you think it's okay to do that. Make sure it's all right with the family first, though. Yeah. Well, it's nearly Christmas. As you can see, I've been doing the news. That's the tripod I use, which has seen better days. It's all taped together now. I used to take it on the road with me to do the drive-bys, and I had fitted another one of these clamps so I could have two cameras. But I'm back to doing it on the selfie stick, which means I have to ride past it, come back, turn it round, ride past it again, and then I get a ride by, which is why you haven't seen many of those this summer. I'm hoping to get somebody together and buy myself a new tripod so I can modify it, stick all the cameras and phones and things like that on it. Anyway, as you noticed in the news, look what I've been doing. It's Christmas. Well, it's nearly Christmas, eh? I have to move everything away. It's surprising how big that tree is. I brought it in Lidl's with the Hobbit last year. And don't think it's going to come out as well as it looks. But that's Lisa, the Barbie doll that my daughter left on my boat when she was little. She used to come and spend weekends and holidays with me on the boat, and left a few of her toys. She never took that one away. So I thought it'd be appropriate that Lisa had port and starboard baubles. And before you ask, no, I don't play the guitar. That's a 12-string guitar I brought for people who do play when they come and visit, and I might be able to sing. And yeah, the Axleys brought me that. Funny thing about these wind turbines, that hasn't worked for months now because we haven't had any sun for the solar and there's not been much wind in the living room. So I'm afraid my toaster doesn't work. And of course, those of you who follow me regularly will know I've got a new settee. Look at that. Fantastic. Me and the cat curl up on that and watch YouTube all night. I've got my fire now because it's getting a bit chilly, so some evenings I have to have the fire on. So there's your little tour of the living room and what doubles up as the newsroom. Anyway, if you visited the coffee page this week, thank you ever so much for doing that. And don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe. Sit back and enjoy the ride. And remember, dreams do come true. True story. I seriously can't believe that this is my life now. If you'd have told me what I'd be doing about 8 years ago, I'd have said you were raving mad. So it hasn't been easy, and it still isn't easy. I still have my problems, and those of you who watch the channel on a regular basis will know about a lot of that. I still have little hurdles. It's not easy living here. Maybe I'll do a program about that one day. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you ever so much for all your support, all your comments. I do read them, as you've just seen. And I'll see you guys next week.